All right, I've got PSpice here running on my on a Windows machine. Okay, I have it installed and I've launched Capture CIS Lite, and that's where I'm sitting at right now. So let's get started with this. Again, this is our first lab quiz, I guess. So I'm going to click File. I'm going to click New here. I'm going to select Project. I'm going to say LabQuiz 1. You can give it whatever name you want to give it. Again, I've created my own little location to store my files here. I'll just leave that as a default. We're going to leave this set to PSpice analog or mixed AD. Okay. You do not want to run schematic. Schematic will not let you run a simulation. Basically, it just lets you draw the circuit. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep this PSpice analog or mixed AD. I'm going to click OK here. Do we want to, we don't want to create based on an existing project. We want to create a blank project. Okay, so you want to make sure you select this, select OK. All right, and we open up to our schematic page. All right. So let me blow this up here, and let's start drawing our circuit. All right, what do we have? Well, if I click over here, upper right, place part, let's put the resistors in first. So I'm going to look for some resistors. We want R/analog, so I'm going to put an R in the part list here. This is the one we run here. See R/analog. I'll double click that. I'll place that one. I'll place another one. What do we want? We want 4, right? I'll put another one here. Another one here. Another one here. I'm going to click Escape now. Okay, Escape twice. All right. And if we're going to draw these the way we have it drawn on the schematic I gave you, the resistors are all positioned vertical. So I'm going to click this one, and I'm going to hit the R key. It flips. And click R2, R key flips vertical, R3, R key flips vertical, R4. Oops, let's make sure the whole thing is highlighted. R. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit here too for you. Let's say zoom in, and let's make sure we can see it. All right, I think that looks pretty good right there. All right, so we've got all the resistors in place. We can mess around with the spacing if you want. Make them sort of symmetrical. Okay, now if you look at the values here, the values are a little different. R1 in the lab I gave you is 1K. R2 though, actually I think I called this one R2. Oh no, this was R4. Okay, we're going to make this one R1. This one R2. This one R3. And we call this one R4. All right. R1 has a value of 4.7K. By default, everything is set to 1K. So I'm going to double click here. And I'm going to change this value to 4.7 K ohms. R2, double click the value. That's 2.2 K ohms. R3, double click the value, 1.5 K ohms. R4 is 1 K ohm. We'll leave it at 1 K ohm. All right, so we got all our resistors in place. Let's add our voltage source now. Okay, so we want to, what are we looking for? We're looking for V. And we want VDC, right? This is a DC source. So VDC in the part box here. Here it is right here, VDC source. Double click it, and let's place it right here. We hit escape. It's already in the vertical position. That's good. Okay, the value we have, well, let's make it exactly the way it is in the diagram. Instead of calling this V1, we're going to call it a VS for source. Okay, and by default it has the value of 0 volts DC. Double click that, and ours we said was 5 volts. All right, so we've got our source in. Now we've got the resistors. We just got to wire the thing up. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click place wire over here. This is sort of the common toolbar here, this vertical bar over far right in PSpice, place wire. And let's start making wires. Click here. Let's go up a little further here. We'll go here, we'll go here. Okay, we go here. You want to make sure you don't jump across. If I were to go like this, if I were to click here and go all the way down here, see what happens? I throw a short across R2. So you want to go here to here, place a wire, and go here to here. You do not want to place a wire directly across a resistor because you'll short it out in the simulator. All right. Here, here. That looks pretty good. All right. What do we want to do next? I don't know if I left myself enough room, but we got to add a ground. Okay. So I'm going to escape. It gets rid of all the pink stuff. We're not placing anything anymore. I go over here to the ground. Little, again, common parts. We're going to click place ground. And we want this one again, this 0 caps in. That's our ground. I'm going to click that. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to plop it right over here, right where I have it in the diagram. Right there. Okay, that's now our reference. That's 0 volts. Okay. All right. To simulate it, what we want to do is we want to go over here. If you remember, we want to create a new simulation profile. Basically, what we've done is we've drawn the circuit. Now, what the simulation profile does is it converts what we've drawn into the equivalent of language or text or inputs that PSpice can understand. So I'm going to click New Simulation Profile here. Okay, I'm going to give it a name. LabQuiz 1. I don't remember what I called it before. It doesn't matter. You can give it any name you want. And click Create. And we want to just go with the defaults here. We want to make sure this is set to time domain transient, general settings, runtime, all this stuff is fine. We're again talking DC circuits. I always click apply here. I don't believe you have to, but I always do. I think you can just click OK and automatically applies it. I'm going to click apply, then I'm going to click OK. You can see our little run PSpice button has lit up here. I'm going to run it. Okay, it's running. If I look down, if I look down here in the little display box below where the simulation is, you can see that I don't see any errors. Looks like this thing ran okay. And these buttons have lit up here, V, I, and W. So if I click V, it'll give me my node voltages. Let's leave the currents off for now. There's our voltages. 5 volts here. We're dropping whatever voltage across 5 volts minus 4.468 volts across R1. So these are our node voltages. All right. Current. Let's turn voltages off. Let's turn current on here. Current, again, it's going to be the same. Series circuit, the current is going to be exactly the same. So we've got 5.31 here. Notice the location where the 5.31 or 531.9 microamps, sorry. The current is displayed above R4. That means current is flowing from where the current is displayed in PSpice through the resistor. Okay, it's starting at the top of R4 and it's flowing downward through R4. That's what this position indicates here. So I think we're good here. I'm going to stop this. I hope this makes sense. If I put the currents back on, if I put, both voltage and current on, you can see both. If you look at power, okay, you can see the resistor powers are all listed as positive. Okay, that means in PSpice, a positive power means power is being absorbed. A negative number value for power in PSpice means power is being supplied, which makes sense. Okay, the voltage source is a battery. Okay, it's supplying power to the resistors, and the resistors are consuming power. They heat up. All right, I'm going to stop this.